Well, joining me now is former Liberal MP Nicole Flint and Danica De Giorgio, the host of 3 new Sky News shows this year, Opinionated on Friday nights, Danica De Giorgio on Sundays, and Danica Goes Global every Monday on YouTube. Congratulations, my friend Danica, and welcome to you both. Let's kick off with a new poll by the Institute of Public Affairs, which has found the majority of young people don't want companies to allow staff to take an alternative day off to the Australia Day holiday. Major companies like Telstra, PwC, KPMG and the Big 4 banks all allow staff to take the public holiday on a day other than January 26, and a whopping 72% of Australian aged 18 to 24 think this practice is wrong, and 53% of those 25 to 34 are against the move. Danica, I'll start with you. I think a lot of big corporations would assume younger people were anti-Australia Day, since they do tend to be more progressive, but this shows that's actually wrong.
No, you're right, and thank you for your kind words at the start there. It does show that it's wrong, and I do wonder, Caroline, if we can put it down to the events of the last 12 months in this country, because when we have seen the terrorist attack, for example, in Bondi, it actually brings people together and it makes people really question our values and question what it means to be an Australian. So I'm wondering if that did have an influence. But overall, I still think that the progressive left really hates our values, and over time they've been seeking to destroy everything that it means to be an Australian and to take down everything that the wonderful British settlers brought here and that we should be, so proud of. In my opinion, pretending that Australia Day doesn't exist or trying to, swap the days out like these big corporations are, it's actually a slap in the face for the everyday Aussies who love this country, love our values and are proud to be Australians. Now, if you're not proud to be an Australian, then I would ask the question, what on earth are you doing here? Because on January 26, on Australia Day, we'll all get to wake up, not in a war zone, not in a third world country, not protesting for our rights. I watched your interview earlier about Iran, because we already have those freedoms and we should be grateful for it. And also, Caroline, these big corporations should learn from their past mistakes. Look what happened to Woolworths when they backed The Voice. Then they banned Australia Day merchandise. They were forced to backflip. We saw the Australian Venues Code. They had to backflip as well on their plans to cancel Australia Day events at pubs. So it backfires. Go woke, go broke.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. I mean, it's a cliche for a reason, because it's true, Nicole. The New South Wales Premier, Chris Minns, announced today what he's called the country's largest Australia Day program, which will also feature a tribute to those affected by the Bondi terror attack. Nicole, I'm not sure what they're planning in South Australia, but I think it is heartening to see a return to pride in the National Day and coming from the state government, especially at a time of such deep pain and division in Sydney.
It certainly is, and let's hope that the Prime Minister follows the lead of Premier Chris Minns and does something very symbolic, which would be, well, not just symbolic, but practical, which would be forcing every single council around Australia to reinstate their Australia Day celebrations and their Australia Day citizenship ceremonies, because becoming a citizen on Australia Day is one of the best events that I attended as a federal member of parliament. It's really special, and the fact that we have let so many woke councils get away with denigrating our National Day, it has to stop. And it's really exciting to also see so many young people saying, no, we want to keep Australia Day. It's important to us, it's important to our nation, and we are so sick of being told what to do and what to think. And this poll shows that there is great hope for our future.
Yeah, I agree. And also, if you don't want to celebrate the day and take the day off work, then you shouldn't get another one, in my view. That's it. You take 26 off, but you don't get another one.
Yeah.
Look, let's talk about Premier Jacinta Allen. She's been heckled in a regional Victorian town over claims of Labor mismanagement of the bushfire disaster. Allen arrived in the town of Alexandria, where dozens of homes were lost, but the Premier didn't get the best reception. Take a look.
Shame on you, government, for what you've done to cause this situation, for what you're doing to not help it now.
The policies of this government is what's caused this situation. And to see even this morning a statement issued denying that funding had been cut to our services, when we had firefighters on our doorstep crying, apologising for not being able to get trucks to us sooner.
Nicole, the Premier has denied any culpability here, but the criticisms are fair, I think.
Well, they are, because the reports are showing that the Victorian Labor government have cut at least $10 million of funding from the CFA. There's nothing more important than keeping all Australians safe during bushfire season. And so I hope that the Victorian Liberal opposition and the coalition in Victoria hold the Allen government to account. And it's just devastating what we've seen unfold in Victoria, and understandably people are devastated and very upset.
Yeah, very tragic that a life has also been lost there. I wanted to get both of your reactions. I'll start with you, Danica, to Kevin Rudd's shock resignation today as Australia's ambassador to the US. He'll be leaving at the end of March. Danica, were you surprised by this?
Oh, no. I mean, this was a long time coming. Finally, the elephant in the room, Caroline, has finally been addressed. Goodbye and good riddance. Perhaps now he can actually go back to being Kevin from Queensland, that iconic slogan that he likes to peddle out. Look, the reality is in October last year, Donald Trump told Kevin Rudd to his face, "I don't like you either." Now, that should have been the warning signal, yet Anthony Albanese went and backed Kevin Rudd in for another 12 months. Of course, on top of all of other Kevin Rudd's transgressions, when he called Trump the village idiot, he called him a traitor to the West, then he frantically annihilated all evidence after Donald Trump was re-elected. And all we hear about are these drag queen parties that he's been holding over at the ambassador's residence, while at the same time, of course, AUKUS was on the rocks back then. Anthony Albanese could not get a meeting with Donald Trump, and we were slapped with all of those tariffs. So it's time to actually take the role seriously, put somebody in there who respects the relationship. It's our most important relationship, and somebody who actually puts politics aside and cares about the job. So, no, bye, Kevin.
You're not too sorry to see him go. Nicole, he's not going to be Kevin from Queensland again, as Danica's hoping too soon. He's staying in Washington. He's taken his former role as president of this a think tank, this Asia Institute. Do you buy, though, that was the reason that he's left this position? Or are you sceptical like me and Danica?
Look, the jury's out and we'll probably never know, but there have been reports today, of course, that he's quite happy to no longer be having to fulfil the role of ambassador and be on his best behaviour, so that he can be off the leash again and attacking President Donald Trump whenever he likes and criticising the US administration. So goodness knows how this unfolds for our nation, because if he does take a more, let's say, aggressive and assertive role and doesn't have to watch what he's saying anymore, that could be quite damaging for our diplomatic relations again.
Yeah. Very quickly, Nicole, get a reaction for you since you're in South Australia. Adelaide Writers' Week has now been axed after pretty much every participant bowed out, and the half the board quit, the director of the board quit. Are you going to miss it?
Well, all I would say is that Louise Adler resigning today is the only good thing that she has done in her entire term as the Adelaide Writers' Week director.
Harsh words. I think maybe, though, she deserves it. Danica De Giorgio, Nicole Flint, thank you very much for your time tonight.